Hey everybody, good evening and welcome to the stream. I'm just obviously waiting now for Explain to start up, and then we're gonna do a quick flight from Baltimore to Boston just to end this weekend off for me. And I'm glad that I can see some viewers on stream already. Welcome, guys. Hello, Norman. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Long time no see. Are you well? Excellent. Welcome, John. I've just started my stream on YouTube if you want to follow that as well. Absolutely. I've just unmuted you so the guys can hear you now as well. Okay.
Okay.
Hello, Mohammed. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Let's quickly switch to our beloved Zibo. Right. This will be a Southwest virtual airways flight, so we better use the correct colors. And I better get my client going.
You are now free to move about the country.
Hey, Courageous Gaming. Welcome. Yeah, Norman, I see you were very busy. I can't tell you how busy I am in the real world. I've also been slacking a bit on the flight sim side, even though I've done my support and things, but the flying bit is lagged behind. That's why I've been flying so much since Friday. All right. This fancy client of Southwest is connected, so I don't have to worry about that again. Let's quickly have a bit of a look around. I'd like to just check the frame rates here. See what it looks like. Hmm. Okay, I jumped the gun a little bit there. What you guys are seeing is the winter textures. They've obviously made provision for snow on the ground, which we don't have yet. So I was playing with the configurator just before the stream, and that's obviously what the winter textures looks like. So there you have it. I'm not going to stop it and start again. We'll just accept it as is. One of the things that I also did was I took away the moving vehicles and the 3D grass because it was affecting my frame rates quite considerably. As I'm looking around now, see I consistently get 30 to 32. So that's a major improvement for me.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Did you have your dinner, Uncle John? Are you finished with that?
I did. It was gorgeous. I had salmon.
Oh, lovely, lovely. I'm just taking some screenshots while I'm at it. Parking brake set, fuel cut off, reverse thrusters down, speed brake down, thrust levers, idle. Right, there's nothing happening right now. I suppose we need to get some volume going for me to hear something. Or we need power. See, there we go. That's our takeoff config on, so that's done. Flaps up and landing gear in position. Right, I'm gonna have to fix this little sequence in the checklist. You know, John, there are certain things that I do, and I do it as a force of habit. You know, the muscle memory is ingrained over many, many years of flying the 738. The one thing particularly that comes to mind now is the circuit breaker light switch that we have at the overhead over here. I see a couple of guys complained about not being able to see some of the lights, and it's because of this little guy, it seems. So I never saw that. I never had the problem because I always switch it on, and apparently a couple of guys did not, so they didn't have all the lights available on the MCP, LNAV, VNAV, and stuff like that, and I think the FDs as well. It's interesting how these little bugs creep in, and I miss them because it's out of sequence with how I actually fly the aircraft. You know, I just don't do it that way, so I don't see them.
That's understandable.
Yeah. Hi, Dave. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Dave says hello to you too.
Hi, Dave.
Flight slow. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Obstacle. Obstacle. Pull up. Airspeed low.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust. Climb. Climb now. Climb. Climb now. Climb. Crossing. Climb. Climb. Crossing. Climb. 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 Clear of conflict. Descend. 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 Crossing. Descend. Descend. Crossing. Descend. Descend. Descend now. Descend. Descend now. Increase. Climb. Increase. Climb. Increase descent. Increase descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the flight deck, welcome aboard to command way shortly for the first leg. These three wonderful flight attendants give up
PCAS
everything
test
to
pass.
They're going to give you plenty of attention and ready. Enjoy the flight. We'll talk to you once airborne.
Hello, hello. Gideon, welcome. Scuba Cruiser. Welcome to the stream. Fantastic. Well, this is version 15 that I'm flying now, so you can go grab the new update there. I'm sure you enjoyed your flight. Did you have any problems? Did everything go well? Gideon, and it's nice to have you on all my streams. If you can make it, buddy, the more the merrier, you know? Excellent. That is good news. That's good news. I must be honest, the last couple of flights since Friday until now, I have absolutely loved. We've had the challenges and we've had the mishaps and everything that happened, and I'm really happy for this past couple of days and the couple of versions that I've flown. I haven't had any issues with the Zibo in the way that I fly them. I mentioned something that some of the guys did, where they picked up issues, and it's funny how, you know, after many years, my muscle memory and the way I was trained to fly this aircraft and the way I fly it, I just don't pick up issues. And then I look at some of the support requests and I go, I don't understand why people fly it that way. But that just shows you the vastness of the options available, you know. So it's always nice to hear when somebody also reports back they genuinely didn't have any issues. I love hearing that. We try and fix all the other problems, but I just love hearing when it works well. Right, so we are southwest 397. Right. Departure. Swan 3 departure. That will be off runway 10. So we're going to have a bit of a taxi. And we're going to use OOD as transition. The arrival, I just want to quickly check how that aircraft probably landed. Yeah, it did, but it's fine. Let me show you guys this quickly. So, okay, let's get rid of Adobe. There you go. That is the actual real world flight that just happened. That aircraft landed within, I think, the last 10 minutes or so. So we're going to use exactly the same route, landing on not exactly the same runway. That's one thing for sure. I just noticed he used a different runway than we did, or that we planned on using. I'm planning on using 22 left, which is the one there coming from the top down. The reason being is the winds, and there's gusts and all. So in the real world, they obviously listen to the ATC and they do their own thing. But for us, and looking at our winds and everything that's in play in the sim here, it made more sense for me to go for 22 left. So we'll keep an eye on the weather and we'll change if we have to. Right, so the arrival is a Roebuck 3. That's going to be via JFK. And we said, you know what, let's get the RNAV onto the left. And then we will set up the ILS as a backup. I just feel like doing that. Right, so we're going to use a heading select takeoff instead of a actual SID. Let's just quickly have a look at that chart, because it might be that the SID starts off airport. Yep. This is something I always find amazing with the American airports and the way they handle the SIDs and stars. Let me get that on screen here for you. And this is obviously in comparison to what we do in South Africa and also the guys do in Europe. So I just want to quickly get the correct thing going. Alright, so that's the chart. That's where the SID actually starts. So there is no connection to the actual runway, nothing. So you can't use LNAV to take off. You have to go on heading select and then intercept Swan and then go to LNAV. So as a matter of interest, just to show you guys the little tricks that you have to look out for when you do your flight planning. The alternative would obviously be, all you do is you delete the vector inscription. You take that piece out of the leg list and it will then obviously fly directly to Swan. That's another way of doing it. Then you should be able to use your LNAV from the word go, but we're not going to do that. We also want something to do. Computer can't do everything for us. And it's going to be the same on the arrival as well. There will be vectors. So we're going to go to Tango Alpha Alpha Lima Echo and then vector ourselves back onto finals. Alright, that looks pretty nice. 3012 on the altimeter. Alright, cost index for today will be 40. Our reserves 1.7. That's all given already, and the planned fuel will make it to 3. Just rounding that off a little bit, and we said 350. Uncle John,
Yes, sir.
you're so quiet. Are you okay?
Yeah. You know what I'm doing. I'm still messing with Ortho as I'm watching you.
Okay, so you're concentrating.
I'm correcting those faults.
Okay, cool. I'm just checking. I just want to hear if you're happy. Guys on stream, I want to ask you a favor. I'm going to just increase the output from the aircraft, the volume. And if it becomes too much and it drowns my voice out, or you find that the balance isn't nice, please just tell me. Then we can just restore them. I just want to get some more ambience through to you guys. I will leave it somewhere there. Alright, let's see. If it's a problem, please let me know. If you want it a little bit more, I'll try and just increase it a little bit more. Right, so for taxi, I propose the following. We're going to push back and we're going to be facing here towards Echo. So I think we should take Echo, go on to Papa, turn left on Foxtrot, and then continue to the holding point. That is my plan for the taxi, and that's the taxi briefing.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Flight attendants prepare for departure. Cross check and all call. Thank you.
Alright, got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback. And you may start engines. Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by. Hose disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
All right, let's go. Right, this is our turn off. This is Foxtrot, so I'm gonna take a left here. I'm not flying online, so there is no traffic to consider. So we're just going to cross runway 15 right.
Approaching 15 right.
Hey Paul,
Hello, Nico. Hello, Uncle John.
how goes it?
Hello, sir.
It goes well, thanks.
Excellent. Nice of you to join us.
Only just noticed you.
Yeah, I just felt like doing one more flight before the week starts. And then I felt, why not just stream it as well? So it's kind of spur of the moment thing.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Thank you, honey. You too.
Approaching 10. On runway 10.
E1, rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up. Up and off, and RTO off. Right, so Paul, this
1,000.
okay, it's fancy, but anyway, this SID actually starts off airport. It's not really connected to the runway. That's why I'm doing a heading select takeoff, because we need to vector ourselves. So what I'm going to do is then go to the legs list and then just activate the next leg, because we're already on an intercept heading. So there we go. It's now on LNAV as well. And flaps are up.
Yes, I was going to ask why you'd started streaming 40 minutes ago. I'm wondering whether you'd been doing a complicated lecture to people about something.
No, I'm kind of lazy, laid back, just taking it easy. There's no rush tonight.
That's good to hear.
I was fiddling with the airport scenery. If you look at the screen there, you'll see it's got like white textures. That's supposed to be snow. When you go into the configurator, I set it to winter, and so it's a bit, out of whack with the actual reality, because it's 31 degrees there right now in the real world. So that's one of the things I was fiddling with.
And version 15. I see.
Yes, yeah. Yep, for sure. Oh, were you... Oops, I just touched the trim wheel, damn it. It's too close to my fingers there. I think I heard it trim back. Yeah, it's not going anyway. Let me move my chair. Were you on stream when I had the issue on Saturday morning with the scenery and the whole ex-organizer problem that we had? Did you see that or not?
Saturday morning? Yesterday morning?
Yeah, I think it was yesterday morning.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I found the corruption in X-Organizer and I fixed it. So all my scenery is working, all my authors are working. I'm not sure what happened there. I just deleted the whole X-Organizer folder and started again. You know, re-downloaded it from the org store where I bought it and popped it in, went through the configuration, and happiness is everything's fine.
Yes, it was the ordering in the INI file that was wonky, wasn't it? So that you
Yes.
had flat airports and such like.
Yes, yes. There's much more to the story. I think, to be quite honest, I'll admit it, that I was instrumental in breaking it, because what I did was I deleted all my shortcuts for Ortho from my custom scenery folder, and then I renamed them. So somewhere in X-Organizer's backups or folder structure or somewhere where however it keeps track of everything, it still remembered partially some of the old names which didn't even exist anymore. So it's like it didn't do a complete refresh. And then what happened was it was now reading the real data and also the fake data, if I can put it that way, the stuff that didn't exist anymore. So that caused a corruption in itself, and I had to fix that. And the only way I knew how to fix it, and the fastest way anyway, was just delete the whole X-Organizer folder, re-download, start again, and it's beautiful. I mean, it works perfectly.
Okay, good.
Catchy muscle. I also need some me time, you know. Today was one of those funny days where I spent the morning with the family, late afternoon with the rest of the family, and in between I worked myself silly on support. I've been on so many different PCs looking, helping, figuring stuff out that I really need me time, and this is what I'm doing now. Thank you, sir. I try my best. Oh, I love these clouds. I always loved the clouds, even when I still flew in real world. My best time ever would be going above the clouds, not even seeing the earth, forgetting the earth existed, just being there up amongst the clouds. So it was something I'll never forget. I hope I go back there one day.
Yeah, it must be lovely.
Yeah, it's lovely. This one, sorry, the clouds, these ones specifically. Let Escobar do his thing. These clouds are active sky, the performance clouds. So what I did was I installed Xvision and I ran the Vivid preset, and then thereafter I just updated the clouds with active skies performance clouds. I just prefer them really, so there you go.
Everything 100% Nico.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. That X-Organizer, I can't stop thinking about it. It's given you a new lease on life, eh? It's given you some new thing to really help you, eh?
Nico,
Yeah,
I can use it now. I couldn't use it before.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Just in case anybody that's listening is wondering why, I have a colour perception problem, and my problem was resolved.
Yeah. The creator, developer of X-Organizer, I spoke to him yesterday and today, and he actually showed us the setting where to change it. Brilliant, brilliant setting, and now Uncle John's very happy he can use it. And guys, if you don't have that program, and if that is something that might interest you, we can highly recommend it. That's an awesome program. I do a lot of troubleshooting with it. I do all my explain management with it, sceneries, plugins, everything runs through there.
I can't leave Ortho alone now.
Cool.
Well, I was watching your stream from yesterday evening, earlier on today.
What did you think?
Well, it's it's grand, isn't it? I think I mentioned it yesterday evening, though. I had exactly the same Navitab chart that you had with the waypoint designations, exactly the same.
Okay.
But SimBrief gave me a flight plan that when I imported it, the waypoints were differently numbered, so I was stuffed.
Ooh.
And I can't really work out why. It's very odd. Perhaps it's just specific to that airport, or SimBrief fault with that, I don't know.
Probably SimBrief. I'm just going to say something out of the fist now. I mean, not prepared. I haven't looked at it, so it's open for debate, and I might be wrong. But my biggest concern with SimBrief is it's not necessarily guys with proper knowledge who actually submit flight plans into SimBrief. I mean, every flight plan that you and I and Tom, Dick and Harry creates that goes into SimBrief gets stored, you know, and they draw from that when they suggest a list. They don't have an official flight plan coming from CAA, JAR, FAA, whoever. It's just something a user put in there. And I know from experience here in South Africa, when the foreigners come and fly here and they don't understand that certain SIDs and stars are specifically for props, SimBrief doesn't know that either. It gives you the wrong flight plan out or in to Johannesburg. So it happens. Some 737 pilot, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so Paul, that's my biggest concern with SimBrief. Most sim pilots will not know any better. They will not know the difference. They will not care. But when you do a group flight and everybody is using a certain set, of departures and arrivals and the flight plan, and that's when you're going to pick up the discrepancies like you did. So the best I can do is, if you want, I mean, I did put my OFP into the general chat, so I can send it via messenger or something to you, and then you at least have what we have. You can then copy and paste from my OFP into SimBrief, and let SimBrief then do what it needs to do based upon my data, you understand, and not
Yeah.
based upon their database.
No, that's great, thanks. It's just that you don't get to see in advance the
Yes. Yeah.
huge cluster of actual waypoints until it's on your FMC.
Yeah. No, there was a lot. I mean, that RNAV approach into Veigar, yeah. Both runways, left or right. If you come in there, there's big, massive, a
You
massive
could
amount
barely
of.
read them. They were so dense.
Yeah.
It was like milk on the screen.
Yeah, because especially when you fly the RNAV approach, they are making you fly in between those islands to miss those huge pieces of rock, those mini mountains that are there. So, yeah.
No, but whoever suggested the route, it was fabulous.
Oh, that was Mick trying. It was his plan.
As we go.
Yeah, I just thank goodness that the weather was clear and I could do it manually. very, very, very lucky as it was going dark.
Yeah.
Very lucky indeed.
You must
I
go.
would have had to turn around and fly back.
You must go check my stream on Twitch. On Friday evening, we did the same flight, and the visibility was less than 1,000 meters. It was hell.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah, and then when I landed, I didn't push my throttles down far enough to engage the actual reverse thruster. So what happened was, when I pushed forward for full reverse thrust, I actually went full throttle. I ended up parking.
Oh crap!
I ended up going downhill on the other side of the runway, and I parked next to a pub. So the guys got out. They were happy, So it was a big joke. It was funny. That runway also is only for Class C aircraft operation, so you need to be less than 140 knots when you land there. That whole flight, flying from Inverness to Veigar, is one trick upon another trick upon another trick. One challenge upon another challenge upon another challenge.
So in other words, I was dropped in the deep end a bit there.
Absolutely. So there's no point in feeling bad or anything. You did your best, and that's good enough. Now you can go practice it and look out for the tricks and the challenges.
Well, I got the bird down, so that was good enough for
Excellent.
me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, excellent. Good.
Thought of being on air traffic control, where I would I would have to confess to being completely lost and not having the right charts would be so embarrassing.
No, all you say is, sorry, no charts on board, you want vectors, and that's it. Apologize and continue. That's the ATC's problem from there on.
I suppose so.
Yeah. Tell him that the aerostess leaned over when she brought you coffee and she spilled it all over the iPad and it's broken. No more charts, sorry. Right, so top of descent is 84 nautical miles. I'm going to start looking at the chart to see what we need to do to start prepping for that descent. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the WAS approach. We've got a channel number, so we can input that into our Middle system over here.
12 minutes top of descent.
Okay. About 95. Approach course heading is 215. Damn, that's fast. 215. Right, so that is done. Right, our go around altitude will be 3000, and we are going to do an LPV approach then, and 216 on minimums. Barrow. And 16.
Kilo Bravo Oscar Sierra Airport information Juliet 1754 Zulu weather wind 234 at 12 visibility 10 sky condition temperature 31 dew point 13 altimeter 3005 advise on initial contact you have information Juliet.
Right, now one of the tricks with the Southwest virtual airline is we need to check our speed. They do penalize for high speed under 10,000 feet. So I might have to use my speed brake a little bit here tonight.
Nico,
Yes, sir.
do you have your speed brake and flaps mapped to levers on the quadrant, or
I
do you do
used
it
to.
like me with just a switch?
No,
I just use switches.
yeah, I used to have it when I still had my CH throttle quadrant, but I don't have enough levers on the side deck, and I've only got one single quadrant with the 3 levers now instead of the double one with 6 levers. So what I do is I use the keyboard number 3 and number 4. You'll see there the speed brake works with 3 and 4, and the flaps, I've got a little button on my yoke that I just pull.
Yeah, I did notice some guy, I think it was a link on Facebook about printing the labels out that you can put on your quadrant. And
Yeah.
all that good stuff. I've not got around to doing that yet, but it looks useful.
Right, let's see, this is that's us, definitely. Sim 30 737. Basically, what happens is they give us leeway. I think for like 50 feet or 100 feet above. Below 10,000. So within something like 100 feet or something, we need to get our act together. So they do allow you to break the 10,000, but they give you a very, very small window. I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's either 100 feet or 500 feet, but it's not more than that. They are a bit fussy. Then what happens is the PIREP gets sent to the hub manager, and then you need to email the hub manager to ask or to explain or to whatever. And then at his discretion, he will allow the flight or not. And it's a bit of a schlep, so the easiest way of just avoiding the hassle in the simulator is just to be slow, go slower than you normally would. Yep. Yeah, we can only try. It happened to me once that they did do that procedure with me. It's kind of annoying, because you don't know what to expect, and if the guy's a nice guy that's got to now evaluate the thing and all. He was okay, but I just prefer to skip the hassle. We are about to come onto the map somewhere there at the bottom. Yes, it is. Yeah, first. This is actually 15. I'm still on 15. Is there a 16 already? Okay, see, you might have made a mistake. Yeah, this is 15. This is my first one. I was not at home this morning and late afternoon, and in the middle it was just family, my own personal, family, wife and kids, and then we went to see my parents and my brother and so on, and then I came home and started this flight. So this is actually my first and only flight for the day as well.
Release notes, fixed bugs.
Yeah. Ah, there's the aircraft slowly coming onto the screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have started our descent. I have turned the seatbelt sign back on and like to ask you to please return to your seats. Buckle up for the short duration of the flight.
Like what? Sim 737, give me some indication, because I'm on the Zibo Discord. I don't see anything standing out, popping out at me, and I'm obviously not on Facebook. I'm not going to split my attention to go that far, but give me some indication what to look out for, because I don't have any issues.
You're on 14, aren't you, Nico?
15.
Yeah, I've just uploaded 15.
Yeah. Nah, that's nonsense, bollocks. People have been complaining about VNAV for the last 10 releases, and not once have I had that problem. Not once. My personal opinion is it's incorrect configuration and usage of the 737. That's all. There's something that they are not doing or doing incorrectly. But that's my opinion. I mean, there could be a hidden bug, like we've discussed already. My style of flying is my style of flying. This is how I was taught by the real world guys many, many years ago, and I've built upon that, by talking to other real world guys. I mean, I've got a host of real world mentors behind me, and some of the guys get really nasty in a good way, in a professional way, but they don't take crap. When they see I do something wrong, they usually come down on me, and I respect them for that, and I've asked them to do that. So my procedures are very close to what the guys fly in the real world, and when I look at some of the complaints, I can't say the same for some of the users, but we'll have to see. For me, it's working perfectly.
Very simple solution. If in doubt, get rid of the full version, reinstall it, latest update, and follow your installation. End of.
Yeah, and then start the flight with the Cessna 172. Disable all third-party plugins, because there's been a few guys in the last 2 days that I've spoken to that have had the most weird and wonderful third-party add-ons that were actually breaking the Zibo, and stuff I haven't even heard of. I mean, the names I can't even repeat. And if you want to troubleshoot the Zibo, you can't have any of that, and you have to start the 172 first, and you have to prove to me it's the Zibo, because it's not the Zibo. It's these other add-ons and procedures are a big problem for me at this point in time.
What I question on a number of occasions, are they using the beta version and
Also,
not saying so?
yeah, one of the things, definitely, Uncle John, I'm glad you reminded me. In the last couple of days, every single complaint about VNAV was because the guys enabled the experimental flight model. Every single one without fail. Thank you, Sim737. Yeah, the guys need to stick to the rules. You cannot use a beta of X-Plane with Zibo and expect it to work properly. You cannot have an experimental flight model when it's clearly written in the guide and in the video. You are not allowed to have it. Things like that break the Zibo and the VNAV. Oh my goodness, like I said, the last couple of days, every single one. Experimental flight model. Stays fruit. This is Explain 11, and this is the Zibo mod, my friend. That's it. Some pilot, yeah, the scripts are pouring all over out of the cracks like nobody's business, and it's creating havoc. Hello, George. There's the overlay. Now you guys can also see it's the Zibo mod. George, thank you. Some 737, yes, perfectly. No issues. In fact, let me quickly show you. If we go to my Explain, there you can see I'm on 1136R2. That's my build. Perfect. No issues. Hello, Hakan. Hello, Johan.
So you've got to fly level for a while, have you, Nico?
Yeah. I'll tell you now, we need to be between 230 and 210. There is a hard restriction here. The next one is 170A, then 160A, then there's a hard restriction between 190 and 12,000, and so it goes on. There's very hard restrictions in actual fact. Let me put it on the screen and you can actually see.
Yeah, it's good stuff, I like that.
So instead of showing it on the Zibo tablet, there's the big one. Now you can see we have to be at certain levels at certain times, you know, so we're going to go that way, obviously, following the line. Very strict, very, very strict.
No, that's good stuff.
Now you see there it's initiated the next step down. And that's one thing that I can vouch for the Zibo mod. It does the steps beautifully. There really isn't any issues.
And the steps are imported into the FMC accurately, aren't
Yeah,
they? Or...
yeah, perfectly. Catch a muscle, let's see what you say. I really have issues. Well, that is the very reason we suggest that the guys start the Zibo with the 172 first. If your machine is not fast enough to load everything timeously, you run the risk of not having all the scripts run. Some don't even run, some break while they load. It's a mess. And the only way to bypass that rubbish is to start the 172 first, let X-Plane finish its loading, then load the Zibo mod. That's just fair. Okay, that's, to be fair, the way to do it. If you've got a fast machine with limited add-on, a limited amount of add-ons, even mine, I've got a stack of add-ons. Sometimes I get away without loading the 172, sometimes it bites me. So I still fall back plenty of times to go back and load the 172, but I do take chances. This flight was started with a 172 because I'm streaming it and I don't want to look like an idiot on stream where something breaks and I don't know what the hell happened, you know, in the heat of the moment. So that's very important. You have to have a strong machine, and if you don't have it, you need to know how to handle it, how to load properly. Good stuff. Yeah, that's how it works. When the Zibo goes gold, we won't have to do that anymore. That's what Twixter told us on stream. He was on stream with me one day and he used those words, and I'm looking forward to that day. But until Zibo tells me, Nico, or Twixter himself tells me it's not necessary anymore, that will always be the go-to for troubleshooting and to just do it properly. Paul, what's very interesting, if you fly from JFK to Boston, you actually go from the SID directly into the star. There is no flight plan in the middle. You just go from one directly into the other.
Really, that is interesting.
You just go up, you hit your minimum required altitude, I think it's 290, and then you start your descent immediately, basically. It's crazy, it's fast. Yeah, I don't have the other chart in front of me now, but yeah, it's up and from the SID into the star. Oh, I must try that one again. Houston to Dallas. Must definitely try that. Alright, I'll pull you in. Welcome, George. Welcome, Hakan.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Uncle John. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks to accept.
Oh, you're breaking up. Press your button longer.
Thanks to accept us, I said.
Okay. You're welcome, Hakan, as always.
Danke schön.
Vielen Dank. Right, okay, Sim 737. I'll try and remember that one. With our Zibo pilots group, we've done quite a few group flights, and we did the Inverness to Vagar in the Faroe Islands last night. We are waiting on Angel to give us one for South America, and then I've already got 2 other suggestions for other places in the world from different people already. Harry said we must fly somewhere in Turkey. There was a place he mentioned in Turkey, Hakan. And then I can't remember where the other one was now all of a sudden. It's not important, but what we'll do is we need to get into kind of a habit, guys, fly together, get 10-20 guys to fly together and go hit these terribly difficult landings, see what we can do with these flights. I think just because of the challenge of what we're talking about here, this one, Houston to Dallas and New York to Boston, can also be considered as a bit of a challenge because it's definitely just sit into star, and then you've got all these restrictions, So it would be nice to see how the guys handle that.
Where did you put everybody at Faro? There was only 3 spaces.
In fact, I think there were 5 or 6, Uncle John. We were 7, but some of the guys disconnected at some point in time. Not everybody completed the flight. Or let me put it this way: not everybody flew online and completed it online. So a lot of guys did it offline.
This is not.
Well, when I looked and downloaded the latest scenery, there was only 3 spaces for something like a 737.
We improvised. I took some of the prop plane spaces as well. We made a plan.
'n boer maak 'n plan, jy weet.
Yes, yeah.
As one would.
Yeah. But Uncle John, that was fun. I tell you what, the pressure landing there, palms sweating, heart racing. Woo, that was fun.
That will also have that issue with the one I just sent.
Okay, I'll have a look later, George.
Nico, I am talking via my phone. Unfortunately, at the same time, I can't watch the stream.
No problem.
Where are you flying for?
I'm flying from Baltimore, KBWI to Boston right now.
I see. Okay, then I need to make a call. I will come back. Okay.
Okay, enjoy. This is actually a WAS. It's not GLS, it's WAS. The Americans use WAS and Europe use EGNOS, and then GLS is very scattered in between. It's not a very popular thing yet, but you do use the same receiver, the MMR, to put the code in there. But this is actually a WAS. Let me put it on there, on the screen for you. Right, so if you look at the approach chart, you see there's your code. So you put it in the same place as GLS, but this is obviously the American standard and their version of doing things. So that's it. Hello, Mark.
Kilo Bravo Oscar Sierra Airport information November 1754 Zulu weather wind 234 at 12 visibility 10 sky condition temperature 312.13 altimeter 3005 advise on initial contact. You have information November.
Okay, it looks like I don't need my speed brakes right now. This step down has been very kind to us, so I don't need to worry about this VA penalizing me right now, but I'll keep my eye on that speed as best I can. Yeah, it looks lovely. It looks lovely. Temperature currently here is plus 19. As far as I know, what did the ATC just tell us? 31 degrees. So it's beautiful. Sim 73, yes I am. This is active sky, and also the clouds are active sky textures. This is the performance textures that I'm using. And now that I want to look at the cloud, I have to find them. Anyway, let's get our stuff sorted for our landing. See, these altitude restrictions are all over the freaking show the whole time. I don't think we're gonna make this one. We might. Actually.
It's exactly 8,000.
Yeah, look, we're at 8.6 now. We're probably gonna make it. If anybody doubts whether the Zibo VNav works, you must come fly this Roebuck 3 approach. You'll see it works. Check. It's 8.1. Well, there we go. That's as close to damn it as is being a swear word.
No, sir. No.
Definitely can't be penalised for that.
No, this is beautiful.
And it's still on profile, which is so beautiful as well.
Yeah. Sim 73, I do. And the way you counter that is two ways. There are two things that you need to do. So while we have time, let me quickly show you. Display capture. Come on. Right, so in your active sky settings, you need to make sure that you are actually drawing your information from VATSIM. Right, this is vitally important, because otherwise if you draw it straight from NOAA, you might have a 30-minute delay, up to 30 minutes difference between what you get from NOAA and what you get from VATSIM. So it's imperative that this is on. That is the first thing that you need to do. Then secondly, what you need to do is you need to go into whatever client you are using for VATSIM, and you need to switch the weather off, because effectively what happens is every whatever minutes your interval is set between Active Sky and your online client, whether it be Squawkbox or vPilot or whatever it is that you're using, Swift, what happens is the one will do the weather, then the other one will do the weather, and they're going to keep on fighting with each other, and you're going to get all these kind of weird and funny things. So you need to be very wary of that. You need to go check that. Yeah, so in Squawkbox, go to your settings and set the weather download interval to 0, so that you disable the Squawkbox weather, because it's going to fight with Active Sky and Active Sky with it.
That sea looks pretty good too.
That sea looks amazing.
I'm glad you like it, Uncle John. It's just, this is what X-Vision did.
Exactly the same as mine, I know.
Yeah, it's X-Vision. X-Vision did this. The vivid preset. That's what it does.
The new Vivid.
Yeah, brand new one. Mark, cool. I'll remember if I see something funny happen here in this airspace. Guys, while I'm thinking about it, I don't always think of everything at the same time, so forgive me. If you guys are experiencing VNAV issues with the Zibo, one of the tricks that I have been using forever is, before I get to top of descent, I actually put my hardware throttles into idle. I pull them right back to 0. That way I also ensure and guarantee myself that it's only the Zibo code working on the throttles. If you have any noise or anything that might interfere, some static on the pods or anything, you're going to have issues with VNAV as well. So just bear that in mind. Before you hit top of descent, pull back, put it to idle in the hardware section, on your hardware throttle, and let the VNAV code, the Zibo code itself, just do the VNAV for you. I mean, you've clearly seen now tonight it works perfectly. There's nothing wrong with it. Or let me put it.
Reset your actual throttle on final.
Yeah, and then when you're on finals, what I do then is those little blue diamonds that are there, or those triangles, that's the hardware throttle. Then I obviously just line them up on finals so that I have the option to take over the throttle when I need them. So bear that in mind as well.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You're flying between two restrictions, both at 5,000 feet.
Yeah.
And yet the displays show that you're off profile.
Yeah, the profile, is probably looking at the greater scheme of things. It's looking at the
Okay.
last. It's looking at the last waypoint, and then from there on, it needs to take into account that you obviously need to turn around and hit another waypoint somewhere. So it's looking at the greater scheme of things, that profile.
So it's kind of the average.
Yeah. It's the long play. It's not, what's just in front of you. Sim 73, if you are using Active Sky, you need to be on the custom weather. Let me show you. This is the custom meter. That is what Active Sky uses. If you put it on real world weather or anything other than this, it's not reading from Active Sky, which is then meaning that your X-plane is also now a third provider of weather, and now you've got three engines fighting with each other. So please make sure that Active Sky is set, or at least X-plane is set to use the Active Sky, which is the custom meter. Mark, that sounds awesome. Wish I was close there in the real world. That would have been so cool. Right, so we're going to have to vector ourselves. I'm just going to pass that last waypoint and then turn back. Obviously, I keep an eye on our vertical glide slope there, so we don't turn too early, so that we can actually capture it when we come back. Negative. I'm using Mr. X Boston scenery and I've got orthos here. I'll show you guys outside just now. So there's ortho. And the actual city and airport is Mr. X. It's old one, 2016 version, but I think that's about the only one there is right now that I'm aware of. Unless you can help me out with better information. Yeah, I find it very difficult to fly in areas where I don't have orthos, eh? I still do, but I really find it difficult. It's like I hesitate to fly there.
It's like having a bath with your socks on.
Yeah, you can do it, but you don't necessarily want to, eh?
You got it.
Hey, hello, Emil. So it's taken our WAS code and it's using it to take us down to minimums. Awesome. Just like an ILS.
Is this one of the approaches where you do not select the approach button?
Yes. Yeah. This is all done by the FMC. This has got nothing to do. There's no ground-based assistance, so there's no point in pressing approach. I don't know if you saw that discussion me and Santos and such had on Facebook the other day about the EN approaches.
I missed that one.
Yeah. When you do a normal normal RNAV approach, there are times where you can use it and there are times when you shouldn't use it, where you can, I'm talking about the approach now, the approach button. So when you can do an EN approach, or an EN approach as such, you do use the approach button, but that's not what we're on now. So I must be honest with you, I hardly ever do an EN approach, hardly ever. I must actually do some of them again. Right, so I'm going to now lift my throttles and get them into position, so I have got the option to use them for landing, which I will. And we need to check, we have got speed brakes armed, we've got auto brake on, 2 lights are all good, gear down, green lights all over, and happiness is. Right, we've got a 14 knot wind that I don't know if you guys can actually see the translation on your screens, but my aircraft is compensating for it, so my cockpit is moving. Got nice vibration here and left-right movement all time that rolling. Auto throttles go off. Go around altitude set.
Approaching 2 left.
And autopilot goes off.
400. 300. Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
That looked good.
Yeah, that was sweet.
4,000 feet remaining.
9.
Thank you.
You've not got into decimals yet, John.
No,
I gave him a 9 plus the other day.
he's stingy, man. He's stingy. We're gonna have to bribe him with a bottle of something.
I'm not Brian and Bubble. Say it as it is.
Paul, I don't think Uncle John was around the other day when there was a nice discussion regarding the hardiness.
I'm
Sorry,
a very, very fair man, trust me.
I remember a discussion where we were talking about soft landings breaking your gear off.
Yeah. What was my landing rate anyway? I don't even look. I didn't look.
115.
Okay. It's not too bad. It's acceptable.
What do they say the range should be?
I don't have it in front of me.
I think 115 was a very good landing actually.
Yeah. I know they start penalizing us below 100 foot per minute, definitely. Or maybe below 110. It's in that ballpark. I'm not sure. I'll have to read up again.
That looks good.
Yeah, very nice.
That's a lovely shot.
Yeah, Sim 73, we've had this discussion many times. Jorge and I and Uncle John specifically have discussed it many times. The real world guys laugh at us when we talk about this landing rate because they don't have it and they don't care for it. It's unrealistic. But the VAs, ooh, goodness. Now I'm playing around and I didn't even log my flight. I hope they're not going to penalize me for this. Oops.
I was wanting to ask you that.
Oops. Yeah, so anyway, the bottom line is it's unrealistic. It's a flight sim fantasy world the guys live in. Unfortunately, it's not something we can do anything about, because the VAs also need to have some or other method of testing their folk. I mean, there's got to be some baseline to say whether a guy can actually land an aircraft or not, and that was the chosen parameter. So Sim 73 for Southwest, I don't think they gave us anything. I don't think there's a limit. If you fly on VAMSIS, there are limits. They give you a sliding scale, and they will tell you up and down what's allowed or not. But I cannot recall seeing for Southwest anything like that.
Approaching 04 left.
Nico, if anybody lands as well as you land, they've got nothing to complain about.
No, sure. Jorge still beats me, but I mean, he's a real pilot, so a real 7-3 pilot. But yeah, I always aspire to just try and land as good as that. Yes, above 500, most VAs do actually reject a PIREP. That is true. Even VAMSIS will do that. Again, I'm not sure what Southwest will do, but I tend to cancel any VA flight the moment I see it goes over 500. Yesterday we did an auto land with a Zibo, and it was 472 or something, and I just sighed a sigh of relief, because we actually made it within a few foot per minute. So otherwise I just don't log it. It's not worth the hassle trying to explain to some moderator somewhere, what the issue was or was not.
Believe me, if all the real world pilots in getting a mental block.
Age, John, age.
Yeah. Now, if all the real world pilots had to chase a landing rate, you would get guys popping Prozac all the time, or some other tranquilizer, because they'll freak out. It's just not going to work in the real world. Some pilot, as far as I know, damage occurs from 600, maybe 650 foot and above. That's when you need to go for an inspection, to just make sure everything is fine. But again, you're going to feel it in your teeth. You're not going to see it in a printout. It's not in the ACARS. It's not in the FMC. There's no reading that's going to tell you your butt's going to hurt, your teeth's going to hurt, because you're going to whack your jaw a bit, when you land very hard. And that's, I think, most of the time what happens. The guys then say, let's go for the check. Don't know how else they're going to determine it in the real world.
Ryanair pilots do it by every day. They'll slam it into the runway.
Yeah, but even the way they slam it, they don't go and break it. They land hard, but they don't break this thing. So, well, okay, I'm going to submit this flight. Let's see if they take it. Held.
I feel sorry for people that's got false teeth.
Yeah. Okay, so look at this now. I wouldn't know why it's held. You see, I actually don't know what's happened here. As far as I know, I played by the rules. But look at that, it's now being held. So now I need to wait for some email to come, and then I have to correspond with the hub manager and see what the hell did I do wrong. I don't know. And maybe it's because I landed too softly. Who knows? We'll find out soon enough. But that's a hassle, man. It's a real hassle. It could also be because I did the replay. Oops. That could also be it. Didn't even think about that now.
Yeah,
I think that's exactly what it
two
is.
landings.
Yeah, I've got 2 landings. Now they're going to ask me, why? Scuba Cruiser, yes, well, I just did it. There was no use for me to use, or no reason to use the speed brake. I did not even bother, not once. It just came in perfectly, did the VNAV perfectly, and I'm happy as a pig in mud. Yes, I had to think quickly with that saying.
Nico, now you're down on the ground. I'm going to watch Formula One.
Okay, enjoy,
Hey, good
Uncle
race
John.
today.
Will do. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care, John.
It was a good race today. I enjoyed it.
Talk tomorrow, Nico.
Absolutely, Uncle John.
John, do you want to know who won?
I'm going.
Tell him.
Quick.
I can tell you.
No.
I can tell you.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, bye. Just disconnect. Just
Bye.
disconnect. Yo, making such a racket.
That was a very good landing.
Yeah, I think so too. Sim73, in the Zibo, it's on the tablet. You have to go into the tablet and then enable the advanced feature of blowing a tire. I'm not sure if it does it by default in X-Plane. Pass on that one. And yes, very definitely pass for 36.15. Very definitely. This is an excellent model again.
Sim 737. Is he talking about the X-plane fault management?
No, he's talking about where to set it to let the tire blow if you land too hard. The only place that comes to mind right now for me is in the Zibo tablet where you can actually set that.
Okay.
To get a little bit closer to that landing action. Something like that.
Yeah, you see, John shouldn't have run away. You could have seen that nice landing.
Yeah. After this one, what I would like to do is just one tower view if I can, and then we'll call it quits for today. That is beautiful. You know what? I'm going to redo this, but I'm going to take away the bar at the top because I want to take some screenshots. I think there was a couple of really nice screenshots that I missed now. Yeah. I have no idea how far he reaches. I wouldn't be able to tell. As far as I know, he does the city and he does the airport, but I'm not sure about the radius of anything else. Yeah, a couple of nice screenshots there. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ooh, that must have been sweet to sit on your sailboat and watch the aircraft. Wow, that's like 2 dreams of mine come true in one go. Okay, well, that's it for the stream, guys. Thank you so much for visiting. If you're looking for me during the week, I will be on Twitch if everything goes well and I do get time. Otherwise, reach me on Facebook and so on and so forth. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week and enjoy what remains of your weekend. Bye for now.
Thank you. All right, Nico. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.